Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Gaming Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to give you a short video on the recent firing of James Gunn. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, James Gunn, the man behind Guardians of the Galaxy, has been fired. Not only fired from making Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which he had just finished the script for and finished. He had just finished the script. He had just finished writing the thing, and he was gonna begin directing somewhere in November or October. He's fired off of that, so they have to find someone to replace him. He is fired from the MCU entirely. Which, if you've been following the news lately, if you've been following Marvel closely, the MCU particularly, and Kevin Feige closely, you might not realize how much a big deal that really is. As it turns out, because James Gunn is involved with the cosmic Marvel universe. From what Kevin Feige has pretty much stated in the past, James Gunn was going to take the reins as the man of the cosmic universe. He was going to become the Kevin Feige of the cosmic universe. But essentially, in the new phases of Marvel, there was going to be this divide. There was going to be Earth shit and space shit. And James Gunn was going to oversee the space shit. He's going to bring in different directors. He was going to be Kevin Feige of the space stuff. And Kevin Feige would still, oversee the whole thing and, make sure James is, cool and it's matching up. But James was going to be, almost his own little subdivision of dealing with the space stuff and acting with the directors and whatnot. And it sounded amazing. And I was like, awesome. I can't wait. He's good directing this, last Guardians. And the way he said it was like he might even direct more Guardians. The group is just going to be different. So James Gunn was integrated into the fabric of the Marvel universe. He created space. The space in the MCU is the only reason it's the way it is because of James Gunn. The reason Thor Ragnarok is as fun as it is in outer space is because of James Gunn. So the reason space in Marvel is so colorful is because of James Gunn. James Gunn created one of the best MCU movies, one of the best superhero movies of all time in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He gave us so much, and he got fired because of tweets that he made 10 years ago. Now, I don't have these tweets to show you, so you're going to just have to use your imagination, but they were very, very disturbing tweets. There was rape jokes. It seems like there were jokes, but there was rape jokes. There was jokes about sex with little kids and sex with babies, and I had molestation, and it was a bunch of really out of taste jokes that were just terrible things to say, but he apologized for those things not that long after he said them, and everyone let it go, which is how he even got the Marvel job, because if it was that bad, he would never got the Marvel job to begin with. So there's a part of me. This conversation about James Gunn getting fired is kind of splitting me in half. There's the business side, and there's the fan side. And it seems to me, and then there's this little percentage of people who are just who hate James Gunn for being such a hardcore liberal, because James Gunn is a hardcore liberal. If you've ever seen James Gunn on Twitter, he goes after Trump. He goes after, he goes after all those fuckers in the White House. He goes after all of them. He is a hardcore liberal. And it has been brought to my attention, looking around, that the reason that all these old tweets come to light is because a lot of the people who respond to Trump and those kind of people who are the opposite of liberals. I don't pay attention to politics. I don't even know what that fucking would be. It's conservative. I don't know. The opposite of liberals. Those people went out of their way to dig these up to get him fired, and which they did get him fired. And it's you know what? It's not right. It's wrong. But some people are going after Disney why would you do this? You got to see this from Disney's perspective. And you got to think about this from their perspective. And this is the other side of me. Because the fan side of me is what the fuck? Fuck these guys. Fuck these guys for getting them fired over some bullshit he said a long time ago. Bullshit that he apologized for immediately. Bullshit that he's apologized for repeatedly. Bullshit that he didn't even mean they were jokes. They were just stupid little jokes because he has shown no indication of being the man that those jokes indicate. So this is kind of bullshit. But then there's the business side of me that's with Disney that's I understand why they fired him. It's not good optics. It's not a good look. And sometimes perception is reality. Perception is reality. Remember that, boys and girls, because it doesn't fucking matter what's true or what's not. perception is reality. And when you're running a multi-billion-dollar business, you cannot afford any fucking perception is reality bullshit. I love James Gunn, but the MCU could survive without him. The MCU can survive without him. And it's been said before, if this was Kevin Feige getting this shit, Marvel wouldn't let it happen. They would not let him do. They might suspend him. Maybe they'd suspend him or something. But Kevin Feige wouldn't get fired because they can't go on without him. You have to. That's what you do as a business. You look at what you have. You look at the valuableness of each of these individual parts. And James Gunn was a very valuable piece, but he's not the most valuable piece. You know what I mean? And he only had one Guardians movie left to do. So, there's no guarantee he was going to direct anything after that. All I knew was that he was going to oversee the space stuff, but there's no guarantee he was directing anything after this last Guardians, which means, okay, worst case scenario, we take the bucket on this Guardians movie, but long term, and it's just, you gotta look at it from Disney's perspective in the overview. They're trying to make this Fox, they're trying to get this Fox deal done, and they don't need this out there. They're trying to, Comic-Con is going on right now, and they don't need people asking them about him. They don't need all this this shit out there. They had to fire him. There's no way around it. They had to fire him. Now, maybe years from now, once it's cooled down, they might bring him back aboard and be like, you know what, man, like, bring him back, maybe? Who knows? But at this moment, they had to fire him. There's just no way around it. The noise is too loud. They don't want people focusing on that. They want people focusing on what matters. And if they hadn't fired him and they stood by him, it would have caused a huge eruption. There would have been, and I'm not saying these people are right, but all these people who are coming after him just because he disagrees with them, so they're trying to smear his name, they would have gathered more steam behind, they would have twisted it, and it would have become a huge political thing. It would have become a huge debate, which would have made it a lot harder for Disney to get Fox, which would have made it a lot harder for Disney to market, which would have made it a lot harder for Disney to market Guardians. You gotta look at the big picture. I don't think a lot of people are. Disney did what they had to do. They probably knew about these tweets and just hoped that it wouldn't come to this, but they did what they had to do. Now, I don't know what this means for Guardians. I don't know if Guardians 3 is getting canceled because it's supposed to come out in, I think it's supposed to come out in 2019, but it could be I think the third Guardians is supposed to come out in like 2019, so it might get pushed. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on with it. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, man. Like, this shook the MCU up. And, like, not in a positive. I don't know, maybe someone will rise out of the fucking ashes of this and take the reins and become the new guy of space, but I'm not sure. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney hired a woman just so they can get some good PR out of this. I wouldn't be shocked because you gotta work the angles. You have to think of the big picture. In the big picture, I'm gonna be sad that James Gunn is gone. I love James Gunn. I love some of his comments. And, he's one of the only directors who is a mad supporter of Marvel. He goes and sees and that's not a thing, too. Not every director goes and see all the Marvel movies. He goes and see every Marvel movie. He's always around. He helped out on Infinity. He helped out on both Avengers movies. He was such a team player that it's gonna be sad for him to gone. I'm gonna miss James Gunn. But as they say in show business, show must go on. Show must go on. So comment below. What do you think about the firing of Guardians of the Galaxy writer and director James Gunn? Please comment below. Let me know what you're feeling. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.